Hello, my noble band of outlaws. Outlaw Samurai coming at you live with a video. Well, what happens when you want to get into backyard cutting, but you don't have the money to buy a 4x4, a 6x6, a 2x4, screws, or other such expensive means of making cutting stands? Well, you go to your local Menards, you get a bucket, and a really thick-ass dowel. Now you're thinking, Outlaw Samurai, what in the hell are you doing? You need concrete for that method. No, you do not. I am going to build a sub $20 cutting stand right before your very eyes. Now, first things first. These are not part of the cutting stand total price tag. These are just some stuff I bought to go along with the cutting stand. You'll need a Sharpie or some sort of tool that can leave marks on the plastic that you can see. Duct tape for that good waterproofing. Alright, because this is just plain old wood dowel. So we want to make sure we get that good waterproofing all up on it. And this is just in case I fuck up and have to repair the bucket because it's green and the bucket's green. First things first, you'll notice there's this section here. Now, the tools you'll need. Oh, hold on a moment. I didn't think you wanted to see me in just my underwear. Now, the tools you'll need are quite simple. Usually you'd get like a hole saw or something. But let's say you don't have all them fancy tools. All you have is a knife and a hammer of some kind. Well, all you gotta do is not flop your camera. Is not throw the damn camera everywhere. All you gotta do is line up your knife with the edge of this raised part. Take your hammer and just tap it. And you just kind of wedge it. You then repeat this process until you've gone all the way around. And the reason I'm not pausing this and going to Future Outlaw is because I'm actually making some very good progress. Almost done. Most important thing is to not let the hand that's holding the knife slip and then slit your hand open. right there. I've done that before with an axe. Not a fun time. You gotta go to the hospital, you gotta get stitches, you gotta get yourself doped up on this weird painkiller that makes your hand go numb for like 8 hours. Not a fun time, believe me. Now, once said piece is removed, insert stick. And that's really all there is to it. Outlaw, you really can't be trying to fool us like that. This is you we're talking about. You're gonna add something to it before the video ends, and you're right. Now, if you want, you can take with your Sharpie, kind of mark one end of it. This mark will serve as an indicator of where you can add duct tape. Now obviously if I had used a hole saw and, you know, did this shit more precisely, it looked nicer. Then again, this is me we're talking about, and I'm notoriously lazy. Plus, usually people that can afford to have all the nice and proper tools to do this kind of shit with are generally going to just build the nice, like, solid wood cutting stands. They're not going to build these cheapo DIY cutting stands, or they're going to go this route. They'll fill the bucket with concrete, dry or mixed. Doesn't really matter, honestly. But no, this is for the budget conscious. Like, you see cutting videos done on YouTube, and you're like, oh man, I wish I could do that. So you do a few weeks worth of studying, and you find out that you can buy $50 swords off of Amazon that will do what a sword is supposed to do. Cut bottles and cut branches and shit like that. And you're thinking to yourself, okay. So you bought yourself your first $50 sword. Then you realize, wait, I need that cutting stand. So you go to your local hardware store and you're like, okay, so they took a 4x4 and they screwed pieces of 2x4s to it, and you go back to the lumber section and you see that, oh, this is like $25. I can't afford this off of just buying my first $50 sword. And let's be honest here, most people, when they buy their first sword, we've all been there. Like, you don't want to have to spend so much excess money to get a cutting stand. Sometimes if you already have the material at home, it's, I guess you could consider it kind of like cheating. But for most people, they're not going to have like 2x4, 2x4s, 4x4s, stuff like that just lying around the house that they could take advantage of. Most normal people really don't buy an excess of lumber unless they have to do a home repair project. And even though it's me we're talking about, I fall into that same category too, because lumber is expensive. Like, It is one of the most expensive things you'll buy if you go to a hardware store or a lumber yard. Hell, there are some pieces of pine wood at Menards that are more expensive than they should be, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, it is pine. But yeah, this is more... The most expensive part of this whole cutting stand was this. The actual core of the stand. The bucket was like an additional $4 or $5 on top of that. This was $10. So yeah, the reason I'm making this video is I kind of want to make like an intro to cutting series. Like, for people who watch my channel, I'll show you, I'm going to start doing this intro to cutting series. And it's going to be like, easy cutting targets that won't break your bank, like top 3 beginner swords, stuff like that. Information that I found through trial and error to be most prevalent to me. And this is the first episode. I'm going to title it Intro to Backyard Cutting, Episode 1, Cutting Stands. Now, keep in mind that if I had cut this to form, I wouldn't have to be doing all this duct taping. But this is something you'll have to do if you don't cut this to form. You could just leave it like loose, but it's better to have it somewhat snug. And here's the thing, most people will have more duct tape lying around their house than they will lumber. So just go to, like, especially if you have little kids that are into doing arts and crafts. Like, if you have kids, this could be a fun, easy project for them to help you with. Like, for a lot of you guys who gave my sister the nickname Little Helper, I believe that was Kingfisher, Tempest, and Gargoyle, I think. Because of that, again, cute little nickname. But yeah, it dawned on me, like, while my sister is a little young to be doing a whole lot of cutting, she does like to help me with my videos. So this could be a fun project to get your kids involved with. If they're not big enough to yet swing a sword or something, you could have them help you make this simple cutting stand, and it's like, ooh, we get to help Daddy, and it just puts a positive image in the kid's mind of cutting is fun, it's relaxing. Like, it just puts that positive image into the kid's mind. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people, like, they say, oh, kids and weapons don't mix. And it's like, it's not that kids and weapons don't mix. It's what happens when you don't properly teach the children that they don't mix. Because I think we all saw that video when it was really prevalent of the, I think she was 6 or 7 year old firing an Uzi at a gun range and accidentally killing the gun instructor. Now, keep in mind that I'll be the first one to advocate that children need to learn firearm safety. I will be, alongside my father, one of the first people to advocate that. But there's a difference between firearm safety and what that child's parents allow. They put an automatic weapon in a child's hands that she was not strong enough to control. There is no justification for that. Right? That instructor lost his life because of that child's arrogance. Not the child's arrogance, but the arrogance of the parents. I can't blame the child. She did exactly as she was told by the instructor. It's just that is a fully automatic weapon that she should have had no business shooting. There's no way for a child to be able to control a fully automatic gun unless that child has basically been trained from the moment it can walk by their parents. I'm talking like the moment that kid had the ability to pull a trigger, she was being trained by her parents. Because I've seen some videos of kids shooting 12 gauges and shotguns and stuff, but also we need to kind of realize that a shotgun is a completely different beast than a fully automatic weapon. Because a fully automatic weapon, as long as you have pressure on that trigger, will continuously fire. It will not stop until one of two things happens. It overheats and can no longer physically fire, or you take your finger off of the trigger. Where the hell did that knife go? I lost my damn knife. Terrific. Or until it runs out of ammo. But the point of the matter is, it was good of the parents to teach their kid to shoot. It's just, I cannot condone using a fully automatic weapon, a fully automatic gun, as the first choice of teaching her. Because that child had no rhyme nor reason to start off with such a dangerous gun. Especially for its user. There are some adults who can't even handle the kick of a fully automatic rifle. So therein lies my thoughts. I know I've been rambling a lot, but kind of just filling the space with rambles. Anyways, what are your thoughts, my noble band of outlaws? Now, as I mentioned, a shotgun is a completely different beast altogether. Yes, a shotgun can kick like a mule and cause the child to jerk, but here's the thing. With a shotgun, you're only firing one round at a time. Even a semi-automatic shotgun will not fire again until the trigger is released. So, even if that shotgun is a fully automatic one that's loaded to its max, which most shotguns are 5+1. Some are 6+1. And what I mean by that is 5 in the magazine plus 1 in the barrel. But in any case, because of the fact that it will not fire until it is either reloaded or the barrel has been or the trigger has been let up on. Those are much safer weapons to have your child train on than a fully automatic, which will fire as long as the trigger is held down. And through review of my sister's cutting video, I've made the decision to hold off on her swordsmanship teaching for a little while, just because I feel it would be in her best interest and in mine if I let her get a little older and let her finer motor skills develop, as in her grip strength and everything, and balance and such and so's. But here's the poll. I feel like the caution tape is a little anticlimactic, mostly because I'm not a very cautious person, and this has taken 21 minutes to make. But without further ado, don'ts and probably shouldn't. Yeah, I know, my room's a huge ass mess. But time to test this, and I'll make the testing video a whole separate thing because this has already become too long. I'm out. Peace.